Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. If you're new to this channel, you know the drill. Like this video and make sure to subscribe to my channel. So this is going to be like a very raw kind of podcast where I'm going to be sharing you my thoughts about freelancing, working online and working with international clients and all sorts of different things. So today's topic is freelancing worth it? So let's get started with the video. So 2 years ago when I started freelancing, I used to read like a lot of LinkedIn posts about how people are earning multiple six figures, making lakhs of rupees monthly, which was actually crazy to me at that time because I was just earning like 20,000 per month in rupees, not in dollars. And for me it was like, even if I get one client of like $500, that would be like a lot of money for me, right? And so when I started reading all those posts on LinkedIn, I felt like ye try karna chahiye, I have to try this out. So what I did was I started posting out content on LinkedIn. And when I started posting out content, I literally got like a lot of attraction, and it amazed me that like people are ready to hire me based on the knowledge that I previously had about like YouTube. And so for those of you who don't know, I had a YouTube channel which I scaled to like 56,000 subscribers that I no longer upload videos on because I just don't feel like doing craft anymore at this age. I feel like बड़े हो गए तो अभी क्या craft करेंगे, but like I outgrew that hobby, so like I don't feel like posting, even though I was like getting good money out of that channel, but not a lot of money, but still it was good money at that age. Like I earned like from one video I made like about $1,000. So at the age of 18, making that much of money was like a lot to me, honestly. But then things happened, life happened. I finished my graduation, and then there was this time where I had to take a decision to take a job. And at that time I was like, everybody's running behind these companies like TCS, Wipro, and I was just like, should I take this job? Should I should I even consider doing a job, or like just start with freelancing? So I told myself, I'll do a job for 1 year. I'll see how it goes. I'll see if I really like it. And then maybe I'll start freelancing. So after that, 1 year passed away and COVID happened. And 6 months into my job, I knew that I didn't want to do this for the rest of my life. At least not in India. Because the work-life balance in India, at least in some companies, is not that great. So I decided that I wanted to quit, but COVID happened and it got extended more. So I, like, after 1 year, 1.5 year about, I left my job to do freelancing full time. And at that time I still had one client. While I was doing a job, I had one client for whom I used to give social media services. And at that time I was really like at the growing stage where I didn't know about anything, but I was just showcasing myself as an expert. And at that time I felt like, oh my god, I still backed that client who was in Houston, and it was a great journey for me. Like after that client, I think I got a bit slow when I quit my job, because that was like an initial phase. After I quit my job, I actually hit reality about it's very like it's not that easy. Like work doesn't come to you, you have to go find work initially at least. So I learned a lot of skills, like you have to build relationships with people, you have to like do a lot of work that you didn't know you had to do. So running a business is like not easy. I always tell freelancers that think about it as you are running a business and not like just a skill that you are selling. Because when you are running a business, you need to see network. Are you networking with enough people? Are you fulfilling the service? Is the client satisfied? Are you getting more referrals from that single client? Is the client wanting to buy from you more? Is the client asking you for other services apart from the service that you're providing to them currently? So for me, it was like getting to know all these things initially. It was pretty intimidating in the beginning. So would at that time I was like, oh my god, am I doing the right thing? Is this really worth it? And then I was like, no, it is definitely worth it. I kept going for 6 months. I didn't get good enough clients that I could, like, I was barely making 30,000 per month, which was like 10,000 more from my previous job. And I was like, nah, is this really working? But I couldn't complain at that time because I had made that decision for myself. So I was like, no, let's actually do this the right way. And then I started building a lot of relationships with people in the foreign country. So what happened was I got a really good client, and talking to an international client for me, at least in the starting, was like pretty intimidating because I was like, oh my god, am I sounding right? Is my English proper? Because I'm talking to an international client. But you know what? That was the biggest myth that is presented to us, that just because you are an Indian, you cannot work with an international client because of your language, which is super shitty mindset now that I go to see it. Because like I feel like no matter what, even if you know like little bit tuta puta English, the client will still appreciate you. People overseas value your work crazily. Sometimes in India, some companies don't value your work. Let it go. But trust me, people overseas value your work incredibly. And once you start getting good clients, like who pay you like $1,000, $2,000, that's a lot of money, honestly. And sometimes I still wonder, like when I have low moments, and like, is it still worth it? Or like, am I in the right place? I'm still figuring things out, honestly. But I have come a long way, and I make myself realize that no, it takes time to build something great, and it does take time to get to a level. Now this can be different for someone who's privileged. I don't want to use privileged, but who has like the capacity to overcome things faster. So I am a very emotionally driven person, so I get attached easily to the clients as well. So that's something that I've learned, that don't get attached to your work too much. Don't attach your worth to your work, because your work can leave you any minute. But then that if that work leaves you, then you will also be affected very deeply emotionally. So that's one thing that I've learned. And coming to the question, is it worth it? Now I want to talk about the cons of freelancing. See, there will be instability because there is something that you are controlling. That is something that you are controlling. And I tell freelancers all the time that you are controlling how many clients you are working with. You are controlling the factor that how many people are you reaching out to. The more people you reach out to, the more clients you will get. And sometimes it can be difficult if you are a creative person in general. Talking to people doesn't go well with you, so you will want to work behind the scenes and stuff. So in that cases, I recommend you taking out like 1 or 2 hours every day in the morning to just find clients, because that's gonna help you build that muscle brain that okay, I have to do this work. And it won't come easy initially, but you have to do it because you have chosen freelancing. And if you are someone who is amazing at their skill, then I recommend you finding a remote job for an international company, because they pay pretty well. And if you are really really good skilled, then I think you might get hired even if you are in India. I know many people who work as contractors, who are amazing graphic designers and amazing video editors. So yes, there is a chance that you too can do that. Coming to the second part, the thing that I don't like about freelancing is that sometimes it can be lonely and depressing. So I am an ambivert, and I like to hang out with people as well as I like my own time. And I really get refreshed when I'm working alone, but also I crave that part of like having a community, having a team. So what I do is, you can go online and join Facebook groups of your choice apart from work. Don't mix work and friendship. I always tell people, don't mix work and friendship, because it never ends up good. And if it if you have very good communication with your friend, only then it can end up good, in a good outcome. But if not, then definitely don't mix the two. So yeah, go in Facebook groups. Like if you like cycling, go in groups that have small communities of cycling. Go in your local groups, go over meetup.com, and you can find a lot of people doing like a lot of things outside of work. So that helps a lot. And another thing is that you can have some months can be lower than the other months, so be prepared for that. Like have good enough savings. Don't always depend on one client, have more than one client all the time. Never depend on one client. That's what I did for the first 6-7 months. I was always scared that what if this client goes away, and I was like, oh my god, I can't live my life in this and this much anxiety. And it was so important for me to learn about contracts, portfolios, how to handle clients, how to communicate with clients. All those things you will learn initially, but it is super important for you to know all these things. And don't put too much pressure on yourself. Now the pros are that you can earn really good money if you work with international clients. Even Indian clients, if you work with really good high paying clients, then you can definitely get a lot of money in freelancing. Apart from that, flexibility to work from anywhere, flexibility to take your own vacations. There are a lot of perks that I can keep talking about here, but like I know you already know them. So yeah, so measure the pros and cons on your own, and then you can decide for yourself if it truly aligns with your future, and then you can select freelancing. So if you are someone who's pretty unorganized and don't know where to start, you can start it along with your job, and then you can take it full time once you figure things out. Because I know there are people who have a family to support, who have people to take care of, and freelancing might not be the best option for you. So at least initially it cannot be, because there is a lot of uncertainty also involved in freelancing. And for people who have anxiety and people who have someone to take care of, then definitely this is not a very good option. But if you are in your 20s and you can take the risk, then go for it. Because I tell people all the time that if you do not take the risk in your 20s, then 30s is definitely not the time that you are going to take the risk, unless and until you are really dissatisfied with your life. Even I see some people, like they're doing jobs and they're so dissatisfied with life, and I'm like, how can you live the same freaking life every single day? Same schedule, same boring work. I mean, if you're happy, then good for you. I'm happy for you. But if you're not happy, then pause and like think about, like, you are doing something wrong, right? And you have the power to fix it. So why not now? Why not today?